So you've been dieting, cutting out carbs, doing everything that everyone's telling you to do, and you still can't see your abs. I'm gonna tell you, I was in the same boat for a very long time. And guess what? I finally figured out the actual reason why you can't get rid of that stubborn stomach fat. And I'm telling you, it starts not from calories, not from ab workouts, it's from your gut health. Stomach fat isn't just, I eat more calories than I'm supposed to intake, or I didn't do an ab workout properly. None of that stuff matters if you're not getting to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is your gut. It's not calories, it's not all of the other stuff, the fluff that they're gonna give you. It's hormonal. It's actually what's going on in your stomach is what's causing it. So to break it all down, you have to understand that your gut is going to break down things and do certain things, and it has a certain job for every single part that it's going to take care of. What's happening in your body right now is dependent on what you're eating, because what ends up happening with your gut is you eat some sort of food that isn't good for you. It creates inflammation, it goes to your liver, and your liver can't signal to make more sex hormones or testosterone or estrogen, which these things are just primal in the body to allow it to be able to burn what it needs to burn and use what it needs to use for energy. There's a small term called ATP, which is pretty much the cells that are burnt for energy. You don't need to know all the stuff about this, but what you need to understand is that when your body is triggered to then store stuff instead of using stuff, it's not going to burn your stomach fat. So you can consider, if you're eating not great food, you have inflammation in your body is just going to use the sugar or whatever other processed carbs that you're eating as energy. It's going to burn that instead of your stomach fat or whatever fat is on your body for energy. Normally, a normal person's body, if you're eating healthy, would pretty much burn the fat that they have, the visceral fat. They would use that because your body is storing that as if it were going into hibernation mode. But if you're constantly eating not great food and creating inflammation in your gut, it's going to use that as energy, and it's just going to store the fat wherever it needs to. And this storage area, the primal storage area, which most people are not going to tell you, it's not your arm, it's not your neck, it's not all of that stuff. The prime storage area for your gut is your stomach. So that is the reason why you can't see your abs. This is the area that your body stores it, right there, right in your abdominal area. And then we'll dive into inflammation. So essentially, inflammation in the body, this is probably the term that you need to understand the most, is inflammation is the worst thing for your body. It's the reason why you feel pain in certain body parts or areas. A lot of the time, it's not because your back is out of whack or whatever quick fix that most people end up doing. Most of the time, it's because you have inflammation in your body. So whatever weak part is, say it's your foot or whatever it is, a lot of the time it's just because you have inflammation, and that's why these things hurt so bad. When you get rid of a lot of the food that you're eating, and again, alcohol, a lot of the extracurricular things, these are things that cause inflammation, and this is what you're feeling in your body. When you have inflammation, your body is kind of storing fat as a protection barrier to, in its mind, think that it is trying to protect the organs and everything in your body by storing this stuff. And that's what happens when you have inflammation. If you look at the American diet, even look at, the 2020 COVID years, the things that were predominant in those years as well, you either had two types of people that were really into health, or people that were eating cheap food, and all the liquor stores were still open. Alcohol goes hand in hand with food, and I think a lot of the time, especially in the American diet, people don't understand how bad alcohol actually is for you. Alcohol causes significant inflammation. It completely destroys the gut barrier and completely destroys all of your gut microbiome that would be digesting food. So having these two things hand in hand would then create significant inflammation in the body, which then your body thinks and panics, thinking that it needs to protect itself. So what it ends up doing is it takes all the extra sugars and all the extra stuff that goes in these foods and alcohol and all the other things, and it stores it because it feels like it needs to protect your body from some sort of antivirus or whatever it is. That's what ends up happening with your body. And then what ends up happening as well with the inflammation is it starts gathering blood cells around certain parts of your body, thinking it's trying to protect it, and that's the pain that you feel. That's what inflammation is, and that's what is storing this fat around your body. And to go piggybacking off of inflammation and what you're going to kind of notice as well, and it's something that I noticed when I finally figured this out, is bloating. This is a common symptom of inflammation in the body, and when you are bloated, a lot of the time people don't even realize that they're just walking around habitually bloated. Like it's every single day you're just habitually bloated from your gut, and that's what's causing this. That's why a lot of the time you see people with their stomach that goes over their chest. This is bloating. This is inflammation in the body, and it's when you're kind of holding in gas and all sorts of other residue in your stomach, and it becomes inflamed, you become sick, and your body kind of is injured, essentially. That's the way that you can look at it, and that's what bloating is. And this is a common cause for eating processed foods, alcohol, and even smoking, things like that. That's stuff that causes inflammation in the body and causes you to be bloated. This is what causes constipation. This is what causes irregular bowel movements. It causes you getting sick, stomach aches. All of these things are associated with inflammation and bloating. And then that is why you can't see your abs. You can't see stomach fat, or you can't see your abs over the stomach fat. This is what ends up happening is you have the inflammation, your body is storing fat, and you are bloated. So it just completely goes over your abdominal muscles, and that's why you can't get rid of the stomach fat. So how do we fix this? Okay, so number one, it's a choice that we all have to make. I had to make it. Everyone has to make it, and you have to realize that, especially in America, they are designing this to make it so difficult to get rid of. But smoking, alcohol, vaping, processed foods, all of those things you get rid of, you don't have any of these problems. I'm going to reiterate that. If you get rid of those four things, you don't have these issues. Your stomach fat completely dissipates, your stomach becomes completely fat, and you'll probably lose weight significantly fat. But it's a choice that you have to make. So the first step, and again, it's a choice that you have to make: alcohol, smoking, sugar, processed foods, which those kind of go hand in hand. You get rid of all those, you're going to have a significant difference in your body, your mind, everything. It's all going to change for you. Number two, fiber, which it's a word that we all hear. Most of us don't know what it actually is. It's about eating natural foods. We call them superfoods for a reason, and the reason why we call them superfoods is because, well, kind of super. Like, the reason they're super is because our food is such crap that natural foods that contain a lot of vitamins and nutrients and all that stuff, we call them superfoods. But the reality is, it's just what you are supposed to eat. The other stuff you're not. You know, all the other processed crap you're not supposed to eat. And this is what you're supposed to eat, because this is what gives you nutrients and vitamins and fiber. This is where, when you have these types of foods, not only are they giving you vitamins and nutrients, what fiber is what your prebiotics and probiotics use, they eat and reproduce. So when you have a lot of gut biome, number one, your stomach lining is filling with a beautiful protective layer that allows you to digest food properly. And number two, the more microbiome you have, the better you're able to extract nutrients and vitamins and minerals, which when you have something called, which maybe a lot of us don't know what this is, it's called the vagus nerve, where it's the stomach goes up to your brain for mental capacity. And a lot of the time they say that 80% of your mental capacity comes from your stomach. So if you have more microbiome, they're going to digest food better, going to get the nutrients and the blood cells into your brain, and it's going to combat stress. You know, it's going to combat fogginess, tiredness, it's going to combat anxiety. All of these different things are going to be dissipated because it comes from your gut. So when we talk about all this, and kind of to polish this off, is that your stomach fat isn't just a 1 + 1 = 2. Your stomach fat is part of an underlying thing that's going on completely in your body. And the reality is, we're not talking about, you know, pre-workout and workout supplements. We're not talking about all that stuff, because to me that's a cheat code, and I'm going to give you stuff that comes from nature. I don't do chemicals or any of the other stuff that is a cheat code that when you stop doing it, you're just going to fall back into the cycle. When you eat properly, you're going to notice stomach fat dissipating. And then on top of that, what that is doing for your body is it's clearing your gut health up. It's going to clear your mind up. And then, bada bing, bada boom, you're going to see a six-pack. like and comment if you do enjoy this video. And like I said, it's a choice. We all have to choose. Love you all. Peace.